Welcome to the Wearebe podcast. Today, I'm super excited for you guys to hear from a freaking flame of a woman. This girl is lighting the world up. Today, she is going to be talking about her journey as her 28-year journey as a hairstylist. She's a salon owner and an educator. And besides running the Rocket Studio Salon in Chicago, Illinois, Elyse has begun educating her stylists. She has online education courses now, and I'm just super excited to highlight you and all that you've been doing in this industry. So welcome.
Thanks for having me.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm excited to be here too.
Yeah, and if you guys are listening on the podcast, you got to go to the YouTube channel and check out this woman. She has like the best red hair and the cutest glasses on. And so you can put a face to a voice if you're just listening on the podcast. So real quick, I gave just like a brief overview, but there's so much to your journey and getting to where you are, because I know that you are an award-winning hairstylist, so you've put yourself out there a lot. But maybe let's start kind of from the beginning. How did you get into beauty? Why did you decide hair? And what is it that really got you started on this journey?
Well, I've always wanted to be a hairdresser since I was like a little kid. So like my nightstand had like a table with like a little comb and a little mirror. And I had like a little pair of pinking shears, scissors, whatever, those little curvy ones, and a mirror and a chair and a towel. And it was all laid out. And then my mom took the pinking shears away, of course, because I was cutting like everything with them. I just wanted to cut hair. And so, I remember my mom said once, I'm like, I want to be a hairdresser. And she's like, you're too smart for that. Yeah. Crazy,
Wow.
huh? And so, but that was back, that was a long time ago. Remember, I'm going to be 45 years old. So, that was a long time ago. And like, they wanted you to go to college. And I'm like, I can't even hardly read. Like, I'm not even good at like anything, like it's just bad. So finally they realized that, oh yes, she should go to beauty school, And so I went to beauty school and I went through high school and, it was an okay experience. And, you do your little roller set ladies and whatever. And then, I assisted since I was like 14 as a shampoo girl. So, I've always been in the salon. Since I was like, I've been in the salon longer than I haven't been in the salon. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a long time now. So, and then I started working for people and I realized that I really don't work well with people because I'm kind of a chief and I can't be in somebody else's chief house. And, I just want to do my own thing and I want to speak freely with my clients. My clients want to speak freely with me. So I started working for myself when I was like 25. I found a little shop and that was like renting a space before renting was cool because now renting is like cool. That's what you do, right? You go get your little suite someplace, but that wasn't the case back then for me. So it was very hard for me to find a space to rent space from. And I found this woman, Joanne, and I rented space for her for 4 years. And then she decided to move on in her life. So I went into one of those suites. Then I met some girls along the way and jumped a couple of suites and went to one shop that sucked. Oh, that was a nightmare for 6 months, but it was only 6 months, thank God, because then I found where I'm at now, where I rent a suite. So I have like basically my apartment salon, right? My little apartment. And I've been with that particular person for 15 years. But now, because of social media and everything, my business has outgrown my space. And so now I'm opening my own. I'm getting like a house now. So I'm getting my own my own house to do hair in now with my own front door. And I don't really know if I'm going to have employees, but right now I just need more space to service my clients because I'm servicing 3 clients. I have an assistant, me, that's 5 people in 120 square feet that I'm working in right now. So, granted, my shampoo bowl isn't in there; it's in the back, but still, it's very tight. So that's what my whole spiel is, I guess, from there to now.
Oh my gosh, I love that so
But
much.
let me add that I know that my mom's looking down on me in heaven, going, "You're damn right, that kid was smart. She didn't go to college. She had no debts, like from school and things like that. So it's like." I know she's saying, yep, she was smarter than what I thought I was at the time,
Uh-huh. I think too, the more that time goes on, the more people are realizing, and I'm sure you and I both have realized, that the beauty industry is so big. The opportunities in this industry for money, not just money, but just impact is so big. And the same thing for me. My mom was like, I told her I was going to go to aesthetic school, and she's like, you need to get a real degree. You can't support a family on that. And now we've like grown. We're like all over the world. It's just like so cool because you followed your passion and you followed what lit your soul on fire, and you did it anyways, even when, people discouraged you along the way. So it sounds like you've always kind of had like that stubbornness in you that's gotten you this far,
Yeah.
which is really good. And congrats on opening a big studio. I know that you've been in the process of doing this wall. You just recently launched your first online course. So, woman, you're just killing it. I love that. So something you mentioned when you were talking about your journey, you mentioned that you had a not so good 6-month experience. Maybe you can share, because these listeners, it's a wide variety. We have women that are estheticians, women that do nails, women that do hair, women that sell beauty products. So there's all an array of listeners. And I know that part of your journey in learning lessons is sometimes in the hard things. So could you share some examples of hard things that you've had to overcome to continue moving forward in that journey?
Yeah, I think the biggest step was just getting away from salon owners in general, because I just, they want to micromanage me, and I don't micromanage. I do what I want. So I guess, my strong will has helped me kind of overcome a lot of those things with other salon owners. But I worked for some just real doozies. And that was only maybe like 6-7 years of my career. And after that, I've been working by myself. I've worked with people and seen things I do and don't like. I can't say I'm the most professional person in the world or anything, but I've learned from others things to do, things not to do. That's why I don't want to have a salon with girls and people that work for me, because I watched an owner almost lose her entire business because a whole bunch of girls got together and walked out on her. And that's what they call a salon walkout. So I'm like, I never want that to happen to me. And I just know, I always say, when you work next to that girl, every day, all day long, and she tells the same story over and over again, like we do, you're just like, shut up. Just long story short, Net, I've heard this story 85 times. She just got back from vacation. You heard the blow by blow, 85 new clients. You're make this story, long story short, just get it over with. So it's I don't want to deal with those things, I just want to go to work. I want to do my clients. I want to have a variety of conversation. I don't want to hear the same things over and over, So I just say, watch out for, there's a lot more rules changed now in salons based on pay and how they're supposed to structure things. Back when I was a commissioned stylist, there was no rules. If you went home with a $70 check, you went home with a $70 check. They didn't care. Now they have to pay you at least minimum wage. You can't be leaving with no money, that's terrible, but that's the way it was. You work 50% commission. That's how it was. So, definitely, for commission stylists, I guess I don't have too much advice. Just want make sure you're getting what you paid. And if you're a booth renter and they tell you what time to be there and what time to leave, you're not a booth renter,
knowing what your rights are when this,
know your rights. And that's that, the ugly beauty. Let me say it again, the Ugly Beauty Business, .com. She goes through all that stuff. So if people wanted to go and check out anything on there, she has all your rights as a stylist, booth renter, self-employed, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. She has so many resources. So she works with a lot of the legal side. Right. And she helps us, anyone in beauty, whether you're a 1099 independent contractor, which you probably shouldn't be, because even still then, that's pretty much booth rent. People shouldn't be telling you when to be there, when not to be there. And it's kind of disheartening to see people that are, ignorance is fire, so to speak, sometimes, but they're breaking the laws. So if you're in the industry, you're working for someone else, learn your rights, because you do have them. And
Right.
if you're working your booty off for someone else's salon, someone else's dream, someone else's business, and you're not getting paid what you're doing for what you're doing, then you really need to look into that. So I love that you mentioned that. And I think that that's how a lot of people getting into the beauty industry realize that I think, are now starting to realize that they want to be their own boss. And that's actually why they go into beauty.
Right. Right. And, a lot of people go, oh, well, I can take all this money home. But man, I spend a lot of money in my business, in my little room every year. And so it's really not the grass is greener on the other side. It's just, like you want to work your hours. You want to take that Saturday off. You don't have to clear it, things like that. With getting into education and stuff, having to go away, being gone for weekends, I don't want to have to go, well, I have this thing I got to go do, I'm sure, they want a stylist in their salon that promotes and educates and things like that. But just cut out the middleman, just take the day off if you need to take it off for business, or whatever you're doing, vacation, enjoy yourself, pamper yourself,
Mm-hmm. I love that. And it's it's one of the perfect vehicles. If you can be organized enough to do it on your own, do it on your own.
Right.
Yeah. So real quick, I kind of want to go into you've grown this amazing Instagram. That's actually how I originally found you. We started this relationship. I reached out to you. I said, look, we're looking for amazing women to partner with and help you, launch your online course. And you have just killed it. And we've talked about this before. So you're not a millennial.
No,
you're not a millennial,
no,
but you're
I'm
killing it. She is. She's a Gen Xer. So could you go into more? How did you start building, and is there anything that you could share with, growing on Instagram in the beauty industry with our listeners?
Well, I find a lot of people, especially in our field, like if you can't do it, they just kind of like, I can't do it. Screw it. It's not working for me, or, things like that. And it's like, consistency is always key. Like, oh, I can't do balayage, so I'm going to not do it. Well, consistency is key in that too, even if it's with Instagram or with your hair. Learning and doing it over and over, you learn from your mistakes, and, oh, I won't do that next time. I'm going to do this next time instead. So learning from that. Same thing with Instagram. Like, okay, so I had like the Instagram app when it first came out, and I was like, what is this? It's like a photo editor, and now I'm like, this is stupid. Okay, so then I went on there, and I'm like, oh, so you can like post your hair stuff on there. And I'm like, okay. So, like my pictures were really bad, like I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And I just posted a picture, and I just put like hashtags on there and stuff too. Like I knew nothing, it was a new app. Who knew? And then like, I just forgot about it. And then I found all the Facebook forums for hairdressers, and God even knows how many I'm in now. And so I saw that there was an Olaplex users forum. So I joined that. I posted this girl's hair that I did in there on, I took out her dreadlocks with the Olaplex number 2. It was the only product that was working for me to get them out. And, so I posted in the forum, and then somebody contacted me and asked if they could put it on their Instagram. I'm like, sure. They're like, what's your Instagram? I'm like, I have no idea. I don't know. I'm like, hold on, let me go look. I'm like, oh, I can't find the password, blah, blah. But I finally got in, and so I gave him my Instagram, which is Elyse Rox 00. It still is to this day. I've never changed it. Because some girl that doesn't even use it has my name. I'm just so aggravated. Like she's never posted anything. So I'm like, okay, sure. So they tagged me in it, and then I got like 200 followers like that. I was like, whoa, what is this business? Like I had nothing up there. I had like a couple really bad hairs, and some like selfies and pictures of my cats and stuff. So I was like, okay, well now maybe a light bulb's going off in my head, and I started to learn about these other people that were super popular on the Facebook. And so I'm like, well, let me look at their Instagrams. I'm like, wow, they have like 12K. Oh my God, how do they have 12,000 followers? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'll try doing this. So I like studied these forums in Facebook. Like they were like the Bible. And I was like, I thought I was like kick ass. And then like, I realized like, holy shit, I suck. I'm like, I am a terrible hairdresser. Look at this hair that these people are putting out. Like, I was just in shock. I just couldn't believe it. And so I was like, man, I got to up my skills because, like, I don't like being shitty, you know? Like, I just don't want to be that hairdresser that just, like, I don't know, does just boring stuff all day and the same people, and it's just boring. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna try this whole thing. And then I like got a light ring and I like started taking pictures and then I started posting them. Then I got noticed by the lady who runs Hot on Beauty. And so she was like, hey, I want to welcome you into our thing. That was just to crack me of 1,000 followers. And so we went into there and then I slowly gained one behind the chair. They have a contest every year, One Shot Awards. I gained a lot one year just by posting, and I posted 3 times a day. I mean, I'm serious about this thing. Like, you have to post and post and post. Engagement, you need to increase your engagement. You just can't go in there. I guess the whole moral of the story I'm trying to get to is that you have to do it. You have to keep doing it. You can't just like post one thing a month and hope that like you're going to break like a high followers. It's not even about followers, because let me tell you, followers doesn't mean you're busy, it just means you have a lot of followers. And a lot of people are like, well, your Instagram following, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, look, it doesn't mean I'm a better hairdresser than you. It just means I'm better at Instagram than you. I hit 10K by the end of October. And I hit 26K last month. So.
Consistency. I mean, that what you said is so true. And I see people that are like, I posted one thing and no one's buying my stuff or no one's booking an appointment. Right. It's like, if you understand that when you post a photo, it's like a huge percentage that you're not even going to show up in people's feed. So you have to just keep posting and engage with the people, even, and you have to get really clarified in who your audience is. You're kind of marketing towards more so the education with the Vivids and the people and things like that. Or do you get a lot of people to come into your salon through your Instagram as well?
Well, a lot of people come to me through all facets, through Facebook, through Google, through just searching. For me, the biggest one that's come up for me, because I asked them, what did you enter when you was balayage near me? Because I do balayage too. Like, I'm known for Vivids on Instagram, but yet I teach balayage.
I love that. And I think that you have to try different avenues. You have to try and see what works. Try it all. But be consistent. Don't just do it one time and say it didn't work.
Right. Exactly. It's like when I teach balayage, I was like, oh, I was just so terrible at this. And I'm like, look, the first time you did a foil, how hot was that? It probably wasn't real good. So what makes you think your first balayage is going to be good? A lot of your first balayages are going to suck. You know what I'm saying? So you got to practice. Practice makes perfect. Consistency. So
I love that. So you're also, something I want to go into now is you're also an award-winning artist. So that means you've been featured on like so many things, like Hair Besties, Guy Tang's Hair Besties, Neon Mania's website, Hot for Beauty, Salon Centric. Tell us more about how that came about and did those awards do anything for you?
Well, it was like when I was in beauty school and it was for men's cutting. So go figure. But I'll never do it again because I literally had diarrhea all morning from it. I was so nervous that I was like, I'm like, oh, I was like going crazy. I couldn't. But it was like printed and it was for the, ABS show. And when I was a student and entered into a men's cutting thing. Yeah. So, but yeah, I'll never do it again. It was too nerve wracking. I mean, like being on stage is nerve wracking enough, I think, just like being up there, all eyes on you. I'm fine. Like I'm in a salon, but once you put me up on stage, I'm like, or put a camera in my face, I'm like, what is this doing here? So
I know, that's so funny. I love it though that you are who you are, and you're not afraid to say, this is how it is, and that's something I totally have always loved about you, and being that way in this industry is so important because there's so many people that are trying to be someone that they're not, and they're trying to follow other people. I think it's good to have people to look up to and mentors and people that inspire you and aspire, to be like the people that you look up to. But so many people get lost in the sauce with that. They get lost in that. So how do you stay grounded in your authenticity?
Well, I just like what I always find really funny is that like some of my hair friends will like message me and they're like, I just want to thank you. And I'm like, for what? They're like, just being you. And I'm like, why? And they're like, because you're real, man. You are so real. Like, it's crazy. It's just, I don't know. Like, if you ask me to give you my honest opinion, I'm going to give you my honest opinion. Maybe I don't have a sensor chip. I don't know. But like, I just am who I am. And I don't like sugarcoat things for people. If you need sugarcoating, I'm probably not the coolest person to hang out with you or the best hairdresser for you because like I'm very direct, you know. I mean, obviously, I can still be compassionate and whatever those things that need to be, but I'm very direct. And
So how do you? What are some things that you do outside of the salon that help you get rejuvenated and back to center and like even creative? Sometimes I feel like taking a break from doing your work is what helps you get more creative.
well, I work out every day. You know, that 45 is catching up with me. So I have to work out harder, which I don't want to do. But so I do that in the morning. It's kind of like my Prozac, I say, because sometimes if I don't go, then I'm just kind of like all day, you know? So, and then I watch a lot of TV. We like our shows.
That's
you know,
awesome.
we're 45. We don't do anything anymore. I drank through my 20s. I drank through my 30s until I met my husband. And now we just watch TV.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. So
yeah. Go on vacation. My husband's from New Zealand. So, you know, New Zealand is our every year trip for sure. So go back and see his family. And so I'm always gone for 2 weeks. And then it's like hell 6 weeks before and hell 6 weeks after. And then I'm sitting around for 2 weeks going, which is another thing. Like, you know, I still have slow days myself, you know, like this Thursday, I can't give it away. Like nobody wants to come in Thursday. I'm just not getting it. Okay. But the Tuesday and Wednesday are so crazy busy. I wish someone would go over there, you know, it's just, you know, just because I have 26K doesn't mean I, you know, am constantly like beating it down busy, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and some of those slower days, I'm just looking at it going, oh, thank God. Thank God I have a break today. You know, thank God we're not going to kill it today. Oh, maybe my assistant get her hair done today, you know, something like that. So, yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Speaking of TV shows and taking a break, you said you mentioned that you were featured on The Ink Master.
Well, my girl was my tattoo artist, Karen Elaine. She was on there. So we got the hairs on there too. Like I had to collab with them
Oh my
because she
God.
didn't want them to do their hair. So they're like, well, we want to see her like this and blah, blah. And they gave me like all the details. And then I did I did red. They wanted red. And I did my variation of red on her. So, I mean, it looked fierce, looked awesome. But yeah, so
That's
it was
cool.
cool. But she really less like a show. But I did get an email from a girl. She's like, I've been looking for you all night. I'm like, what? And she's like, oh my God, her hair is fabulous. I already had like 3 clients text me, I want my hair like this. And I'm like, that's awesome. And I'm like, all you had to do is go to Carolyn's tagged photos and I would have been right there. It wasn't that hard.
That's so cool, though, the collaboration part and the visibility with everything being online. That and this TV show that you were able to collaborate with is getting yourself out there some more. Which I know that you have trained with many, I would call them like hairstylist celebrities. Rebecca Taylor, Nora. I'm gonna mispronounce her name. Yeah, and Guy Tang. Who else have you trained with? And
oh my gosh. If anybody's pretty popular, I've gone to it. I'm actually going to, I think, Painted Hairs class in June. I've been with Rebecca. I've been with Guy, Lacey Worley, Shannon Keel, Maria. Why am I going to blank her name right now? Lisa Loves Balayage, Anthony Barnhill. I mean, like so many people. Like I've made friends with them all now, you know, like hair friends with them all now, you know, so it's like you just get to know them because you see them at the shows and we're all at the same shows or this or that. So, or I go to their class and, you know, I stand usually out from the bunch. So the eyes are always like right on me and it's like weird. I'm like, why do they stare at me the whole time, every time?
It's so funny. They're like, I know
Like,
her.
but it's like, it's not even that. It's like, I just stand out in the sea of blondes, like here's this like redhead coming in, and she's all tatted up and she's got a big mouth, so, and I'm always like, no, 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 through the whole class. I've done so many classes. Like if they've been in Chicago, I've taken their class. So yeah.
So I know there's a lot of people that don't want to invest in continuing education, but what is your viewpoint on that?
I want to learn technique. Doesn't matter what product you use. Everybody's going to get to the end result regardless of what products you use. Some perform different than others, but as long as you know how the product performs, then you're going to be able to utilize it in the way that you can to form the look that you want. So, there's 90 million product lines out there. The only one that I truly believe in and stand by, well, two, is Olaplex and Malibu C, because both of those are like kind of like you can use it with any color line. So it doesn't keep me constricted into like you can only use blah, blah, blah line, because you work for them. And what if I want to use this line to create this look because I know that line's not going to do it? Or maybe I don't know how to create that look with that line, whatever it may be. I know how to create the look with that line. So that's what I'm going to use. If you look at a lot of my tags on my posts, which I don't know if anybody ever reads those things, but on the tags, it'll say, I use My Identity, Matrix So Cult, Olaplex, Malibu C, the last video I did, TG, copyright color. I mean, we have a lot of things in that bucket, And so that's why I love independent education, because that can come all into that. They could show you the techniques and how they got that with that particular product and that one or that one. And so that's where I've learned most of them. When I took my first class, I drove 4 hours to learn how to balayage and 4 hours home. And I paid that chick $700. And it was worth every damn penny I spent. Because let me tell you, I made so much money from balayage. Now it's not even funny because everybody out here is trying to do it. They can't do it, or they do okay, or they don't explain the results to the clients. Like that's another thing in my consultations is just like speaking like the truth. So it's just so much better education. I feel kind of like everybody wants something for free these days. And, and that's great that there's all these hairdressers out there that like just want to spend their time like giving away free education. That's awesome. I love that. I learned so much from them, but I feel that like my education, because I've spent so much money learning and creating my own techniques from the others that I've gotten, that I don't feel like my knowledge should be for free. Like, I'm sorry, I'm more than happy to help you, but I'm educated. I'm very, very, very educated. And where a lot of stylists, they're just signing on the dotted line that they did their hours. Did they really do them? I doubt it, because you know what? For years, it probably didn't happen over here either, but I got my license and I kept trucking on. Now they're cracking down more, starting to audit stylists. I've known a lot of stylists that have been audited, and but here's the thing is I voluntarily went in and didn't care if I got hours for those classes, because here in Illinois, you have to do 14 hours of continuing education every 2 years. So, I didn't care if I got hours for those classes. I wanted to learn those techniques so I can make more money. That's all I want to do. And then I'll go sit at one of those day shows that like the, Beauty House offers or something, and just get my hours. But, now also my girlfriend that offers, Illinois Beauty CEU hours. So any class I attend, I can just contact her and she will give me hours to the class that I went to. So I don't have to go sit through those boring things. So that's awesome that I can do that now. And so if I go to a class, I just call her and be like, hey girl, I just went to this class. Can you write me some hours? Sure. So it's awesome.
That's perfect. It's good to know too where you're working and what's around you that you can take advantage of to grow in your profession and grow your credibility. I mean, with how much education and how much you've personally invested in yourself beyond getting the hairstylist cosmetology certificate, it doesn't end there. It's so funny. I remember literally leaving aesthetic school, and if I'm being completely honest, I was like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But
Right.
you learn so much by continuing to educate yourself and pushing your creative boundaries and being able to to really invest in yourself beyond just that piece of paper you get, because that's going to set you apart from anyone. Don't just
Right.
go out there and do the basics to be basic. Like, be more, because you are more. And I think that that's something I truly admire about you, is that you've really pushed those boundaries to create this whole ship that you're steering out there on the ocean, and you're doing it, girl.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I'm like, I just don't want to be that old dog that you couldn't teach new tricks. Cause like, like you said, I'm an expert. It's just like, I don't want to be that person left behind. I want to be forward. I want to retire early, like I don't want to stand on my feet for, 25 more years. I want my business to work for me. And so, by doing all these electronic, social media kind of outlets and putting myself out there, I wouldn't say I'm the best promoter of myself, because I have hair friends that are way great promoters of themselves. But I just kind of look at those posts every day and go like this, and then you just become like white noise. And I don't want to become white noise. So I push what I can, and I don't want to be in people's faces, but this is what I have to offer. And this is, you guys all admire my work. Y'all want to be friends with me. Y'all want to follow me. Why? Because you want to learn from me. Well, on my personal Facebook page, you're not going to see me going live with any techniques whatsoever anymore. But like when it comes to other education, like instead of me having to go to some state and schlep all my shit with me, why can't you just go online and watch me? You're going to learn the same thing. You can ask me questions. Like, I like my husband. We've only been married like a year and a half. So like on my weekends, I don't want to be in Omaha. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be in Chicago, I want to be here with my husband watching TV.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That's why you're going online, girls. Let's talk about that for a minute. So you just launched your first online course.
Yeah.
And her course is hosted on the Wearebe platform, so make sure you go check it out. But I want to kind of get into the nitty gritty, because I know that you weren't 100% focused on this one thing. Like, you were doing multiple things and decided in the middle of launch of preparing and creating your online course to get a new salon and open that. So tell us about, like, what was it before you went through this experience? Did you think to go online with your training?
Well, I saw that some stylists were doing it. And I don't know if they're doing it, like some are doing it on this one or this one. I don't even know. I didn't really look that much into it, or they are hosting one on their site or what have you. So no, but I knew that I needed to create some sort of like extra outside kind of like income for myself, too. So, when you approached me, I was like, oh, well, that sounds interesting. Well, I'm already doing videos, but I didn't know it was going to be like what I did.
You did it, girl. So what, do you feel like it was worth it?
Well, yeah, I mean, like, we just got to start selling some. Yeah, I mean, like, I know that I'll come in due time, and I can't wait to get more up and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, like, it came out good. There's a lot of things, of course, I would change now. But it's there, it's done.
Mm-hmm.
So,
the information, I think, too, is like the most important. Like, it's out there. The information is what you teach. It's just about beating out that crap. Now, just like you built your Instagram, you get better at educating online.
Right. Exactly. And like, kind of like learning how to do, like, there was a big learning curve in there. It wasn't just me like throwing down, whipping out my phone and videoing myself. It was like lighting, setup, which I didn't have enough room for. And the camera, which I'm like an idiot at. Like, I don't know why I can't understand this camera business, but actually the video came out great on the camera. So that, thank God. So it at least paid off for something. And just all of that, and trying to manage, and like then editing, and one got all screwed up. I had to start all over. I was like, where did everything go? And so just things like that is a huge learning curve. Trying to do hair and shoot, direct my shooter, like to do this and this. I mean, little shooter's my shampoo girl who's 19. Anyway, she's 20 now. But like, she helps me. So basically she was in charge, and she's always in charge of my camera, but I just told her to stay still, and maybe we would have moved around more. But like if we moved around more, then you guys would have saw a whole bunch of stuff. And so, yeah, so it was really hard filming in my room, but I did it. It's done.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The way I feel I did it.
Well, what's really cool is actually watching. So when I first created my first online course, when Joshua first mentioned it to me, I was like, okay, like with your help, we could probably do this and a couple, in a little bit. Oh my gosh, we're like heavy, thick in this editing, heavy, thick in all of the things that we had to do to get this launched. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so hard. When can this be over? And literally after I launched it, I was like, oh, now I want to go in and I want to change this and I want to change that. And then next thing you know, we're launching a second course, and it's the same thing. But what's crazy is people are missing out, or they're having to, trade time for money. And like you said, travel to Omaha, travel to these different places. They pay money for travel, the product, the lodging and the class, and then they have to take the time to do it. And it's so cool to watch someone with you, watching you exactly go through this process and have a digital product at the end of it. That's what's so cool, because it's so empowering when you realize that you can do these things. You, a hairdresser, can do these things. And so that's what we hoped for when we launched this whole program. And we know we're fine tuning it, and we're launching some new programs for people because of you guys. You helped us make the process even better. But I think people are really missing out when they just do away with only being behind the chair. Don't you?
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like the girl, she's like, one of my friends, she's like, you really put a lot of time and effort into it. I just don't have time for that. That's cool. Do me, but I mean, like, you have to put in the effort, right? Just like it said throughout this conversation, like, you weren't good at balayage the first time you did it. You weren't good at foils the first time you did it. Well, I probably wasn't going to be very good at the first time I did trying to edit my own video. I mean, I guess it came out okay, but it's like I did the best that I could. And I'm sure next time, like, even when I went to my friend to help me kind of clean it up, who runs a social media company, she did some things. I'm like, whoa, slow down. Where'd you find that? What does that do? I didn't even see that. So I was like, let me write this down, so I know for next time how to do that trick she just did, Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, just like anything, I'll get better and better at it. It's like, mm-hmm. We all will get better and better at it. The more you do it, the better you'll be.
Mm-hmm. And just also touching on the generation that you come from, I know that a lot of people are still in the bookkeeping, the paper and pencil calendar. And I think it's really cool that you've been able to step up and step out and tell others by your actions that they can do this, because there's so much empowerment that comes from using these tools. And it takes a lot of pressure off of yourself to be able to use these tools and at least be efficient enough to get the job done.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
How do you overcome like fear or like self-doubt when you're stepping into these things? Because I know it's not a natural place to be when you're stepping into these hard things.
Right. Well, I'm just like, I didn't know how to do videos either, a year ago. So I figured out how to do that. I figured I'd figure out how to do this too. Mm-hmm. I always figure it out.
Like seeing how far you've come and then saying that you can do it because you did that.
Right. Now I did it. And now hopefully next time I'll do it better. And the next time after that, I'll do it better. Just like anything, I don't know. I'm not fearful of like trying new things. Yes, I'm scared that it might not work out. But like I always say, don't blame those who try and fail. Blame those that fail to try.
Oh, that's powerful.
Yeah, because like at least I tried.
Mhm.
You know, like if it flops, then oh well. I mean, like how many things go perfect that everybody does? You know what I'm saying? But maybe this will go perfect for you, or maybe it won't go perfect for you, but you won't know until you try.
Mhm. I love that. So what would you say your message is? Like is that what is your message to the world? What is your message to these beauticians that are looking up to you that are going to be purchasing your Vivids course because they're excited to learn from you?
Well, exactly what I said. Don't blame those that try and fail. Blame those that fail to try. And as long as you try, like everybody's got a girlfriend that lets you experiment on their hair, or they have mannequin heads. They have them for a reason, like if you're afraid to try to do Vivids or whatever course you're taking from me, like, okay, like you can go to all the balayage classes in the world. You're never going to balayage until you go and actually touch somebody's head with it. Maybe there's an answer in there that like, you're always like, why hasn't this happened for me? Or why can't I do this? Or why can't I get this right blend? So maybe I can answer those questions in my e-course for everybody of like, why can't you get that? Maybe that answer's in there.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. I love that message. It's powerful too, because why not? I mean, you're either going to regret not trying or you're going to learn and you're going to keep growing like Elyse has.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, you just got to try. And if it doesn't work, then it didn't work. Like you have to put it out there, right? To the universe and to everybody to be like, hey, like it's here, it ain't free, but it ain't an arm and a leg either. Like if I came to your town, you better believe you're going to pay $300-400 a ticket to my class, especially if I have to buy airfare, get a hotel, bring everything, ship it. I mean, like that's a lot of money, so like I have to obviously make a profit, because then what the heck's the point of doing the class, right? I mean, it is to educate, but I could educate right from here.
Exactly. Knowing your worth too.
Exactly. Absolutely. And I mean, I do good work. There's reason I have the followers I do. There's a reason I have a clientele that I do. And it's the reason that I post about the hair that I do, because I'm doing that hair.
Mm-hmm.
My worth is there. I do really kick-ass hair. I wouldn't say that I'm the best at everything, but I can do pretty much everything. I mean, if you wanted me to rock out a perm, I'd rock out a perm. I don't want to rock out a perm, but I can. I got one. He's like 80 years old and it's all blue rods, and he's like this like little Spitfire Italian guy. He used to be an old Chicago copper, and I still do his hair because I believe in don't bite the hand that fed you. Like you see all these stylists on these forums, they're like fire him, fire him, fire him. I like fire him if somebody seriously irritated the hell out of me. Like you really have to like irritate the shit out of me for me to fire you, or just be like at my wit's end with you. Be like, I'll give you like 3 tries, And if I don't like your personality, then it's 1 try, but you just can't be like, I'm only going to do balayage and that's it. Or I'm only going to do Vivids and that's it, because you're going to get bored of that shit and you're going to need to do something else. Because if you're a creative person, do the same thing over and over and over and over. A lot of these stylists you see that have like, obviously like huge followings, like more than I probably ever will have, but and every head looks the same, and that's great. They're really, really good at that, like one thing, but like I like to be well-rounded. So, am I ever going to do a balayage like that person? Probably not. Did I take their class? Yes, I did, and I still can't do it like that. I don't know how they get the lift they do, what magical emotion they're putting in there, but for me, it just doesn't work. But you know what? I still am going to do really pretty balayage. I'm going to do it my way. And same thing with Vivids. I'm going to do it my way. Like you can show me an inspiration picture, but that might not relate to your hair. That's not your head. Like you can't have thick hair and then show me this cute, flippy, thin-haired girl. Like it's not going to look like that. Like you're 2 different heads. So yeah, just do things my way. And just make sure I'm doing them right, all of them. Mm-hmm. I don't have to do them the best, as long as I do them right and good.
And
so that's why
you're all.
Exactly. And I do my best on every person. And, sometimes hair wins. I mean, it's just a fact, but, most of the times I win, or, in getting unpredictable results. I mean, it's like so much into it. Everybody's like, it's just hair color. No, it's a lot more than just hair color. And that's what a lot of my class is about. Like, why do people have so many challenges with doing Vivids? Because there's a lot of factors that go into your final result of color. And so, like, I explained that thoroughly in there about how, our natural underlying pigments contribute to the factor of our end results. And a lot of people don't take that. They're like, does this look like this color? And I'm like, well, did you put it on white hair? No. Okay, well, that's what the swatch is on, you're not putting it on white hair. So it just, maybe it'll make more sense the way I explain it to people. I think when you're in beauty school or whatever, that's when you learn your most color theory, and like you're learning so much, you're like a goldfish swimming in a fishbowl, and it's just like I'll spin it in there, and you can't process everything, and like it's just nice to have somebody go over the basics and that kind of stuff with you again.
Oh, perfect. I was going to ask what you kind of cover in your course for the listeners. So basically, you go over that. What else in the course can they expect from this Vivids hair coloring? Your first course, many to come.
So pre-lightening the hair, obviously we weren't doing a virgin retouch. It was just that my client already had existing Vivids, so we just did a root retouch. But I go over how to do a root retouch and how I do it my way. I go over color theory. I go over underlying pigments. I go over tone or not to tone. Application, a prismatic application. Is the final result came out so cool. It looked so pretty, and we were so happy with it. So all of those things, and how to get the perfect color, the saturation, the color that you're looking for, mixing colors. So many colors you hardly have to mix anymore because there's so many variations of pink now in one line, and it's like, really, do I need to do anything to it or not? So just all those things in there. And from A to Z on how to start it and how to finish it.
Yeah, and go check it out on wearebe.co. Yeah. So, let's share maybe a preview. What do you hope to continue to educate on? I know that you have a couple other techniques that you train in.
Balayage, and I do balayage 2 different ways. So we might have 2 separate ones. I do it a lot more ways than just 2 ways, but like my 2 basic teaching ways of balayage. One is with sunlights, and that's more of a doming balayage lightener, where my other favorite would be Aglio Pro, and that's more of a skimming technique. So I might do 2 different ones with that. I also do my zigzag balayage. I want to do one on removing pigments. Mm-hmm. So how to remove or in color shifting. We go lightly into color shifting on the other, on my e-course now. But I want to go like more into color shifting. Because I don't really remove Vivids, I color shift them. So I think I've removed like 3 times in my whole career of doing them. So I don't remove them. You're stuck with what you got. We got to work with it. That's the fact, Jack. Because you can't keep putting little bleach on hair. Okay, and then I want to do one on how to gain followers on Instagram.
Oh, that'll be a really good one.
Yeah, and that one I could probably do now while I'm building out the salon, because I don't want to ever have to film another one in that room again. So hopefully my salon will be done by August 1st. And I'm actually building a studio in it. So I'll be able to just pull the chair over and film. So I'm known a lot too for my bob. So I could just be like, hey, Jenny, come sit over here. We're going to film your haircut today. And then I can do all the fluff when I have a break.
Perfect.
Yeah,
love it. So, we love it. You learn how to be more efficient and effective once you've done the process once and created your first digital product. Then you get these ideas of how you can continue to evolve. So thank you so much for sharing that. I'm excited. I'm so grateful to have you on, and thank you so much for sharing your journey and sharing just your real authentic self. I think more people need to just be themselves like Elyse, and we're excited. So could you share with the listeners where to find you?
I am on Instagram at Elyse, ELYSE, Rox, ROX00. The name of my salon is Rocket Studio. It is in the northwest suburbs of Chicago, so it's Schaumburg, Illinois. And and then my email is ElyseRox@iCloud.com. Instagram, Facebook is Rocket Studio. I think that's all. I have Pinterest. Rocket Studios. Most of my stuff is under, except for my Instagram is under me.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Is there anything else you would like to leave our listeners with today?
Well, I'm so glad that you and Josh found me, and that I was able to help create a course and get it done on time. And I'm just like a woman that says if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And like, I don't know. My mom was hard on me, like I was that girl that did that book report the night before. So I kind of learned from my mistakes. Like, don't do that. Mom's going to yell at you. So I just feel like I have to get things done on time. And so, yeah, I was just like, get it done, get it over with. Because I knew it was going to take a long time. Like, I've never done this before. There was a temper tantrum or two for sure. So, yeah. So, but no, I just thank you, and go learn something on my course, because there's lots of information on there. Like, seriously, you're going to be slaying some vivid hair and charging for it.
Heck yeah. So if you're watching this video, make sure you click the link below, enroll into her Vivids online course. This is a self-paced course. You're going to be able to go from each section chronologically, finish the whole section, and you're going to learn a lot. I know you are. So thank you so much for being on the podcast today.
Thanks
and
for
you're
having me.
amazing and you're beautiful. And thank you guys for listening.